Welcome to beautiful Pepsi Arena, celebrating its 75th anniversary for today's game between the men's Quincy University Hawks and the Missouri S&T Miners. I am your host today, Carter Lindsay, and along with me riding shotgun is Michael Lanier. Michael, how you doing today, buddy?
We're doing good. Excited to preview the men's matchup today, as this S&T team's ranked 5th in the nation currently, so it's bound to be a good one today in Pepsi Arena.
It's going to be a very dangerous game with balls being shot all over the court, but this game has some history to it. Starting back in 2010 when these two teams first met, the Hawks went on a tear, winning 11 straight matchups. But the last 4 years, it has been absolute domination from the S&T Miners. But with them, the Hawks are posting a 6-2 record at Pepsi Arena, and they also hold the record, the overall record in the matchups with a 12-6.
These two teams faced off earlier in the year down in Rolla, where the S&T Miners took a 72-55 win. Despite winning the second half, the QU Hawks did win that second half, but going into halftime down 19 is a hard deficit to come out of. In that game, the Hawks shot 30% from the field to S&T's 43%, but that's not the impressive stat right there. The S&T Miners shot 55% from three to Quincy's 18% in that game.
It's a very scary stat line there, with the Miners being able to shoot the ball over the court and being able to beat down teams like that. The Hawks aren't the only team to get beat by the Miners like that. The Miners currently sit at number 5, like you said earlier, with a record of 18-1, with their one loss only being dished out by St. Mary's University out of Texas. The Miners are absolutely dominating their opponents with an impressive scoring margin of 16.8 points per game, putting them in 5th in the nation in this category, as well as the Miners averaging 86.6 per game to their opponent's 69.9.
And in those games, the Miners are currently shooting 51% from the field and 37% from three. That puts them 8th in the nation when it comes to knocking down shots. This team loves to crash the glass too when they do miss. They're averaging 7 more rebounds than their opponent, averaging 39 defensive rebounds per game, which puts them 13th in the nation in the rebounding category.
What makes me excited about this game is this S&T team plays unselfish basketball. They're currently averaging 16 assists per game, just to 11 turnovers. This might seem like a lot, but it's 30th best in the nation for our assist to turnover ratio. As well, the Miners are coming off of an impressive win over the University of Indianapolis Greyhounds. And the most notable Miner from that game was junior forward Andrew Young, who leads S&T in 5 different categories, averaging 16.4 points per game while grabbing a team-leading 8 rebounds.
And alongside of him will be Lavelle Williams, who had 26 in that win against Indianapolis. He's currently averaging 13 points per game while averaging 51% from the field. This S&T team is currently on an 11-game winning streak, but the only team in that way is this Quincy Hawks team. Do you think the Hawks can shut down the Miners from getting that 12th straight win tonight?
The Hawks are going to have to play a dangerous game, being able to use the pick and roll to box out this man defense that's going to be onslaughted from the Miners, but they're going to need a big day out of their backcourt. With 3 guys, you're looking at Ethan Brown at nearly 12 points per game, as well as Max Buher and Jake Hamilton. Buher having a team-high 13 per game, as well as leading from the three-point line for 41%, which is 32nd in the nation. So if he gets hot, these Miners will be in danger. So Mike, we have talked about this dangerous scoring opportunities from these two teams today. So what do you think your big score prediction for tonight will be?
I mean, with S&T beating their opponents by, 16 points per game, it could be one of those games where it could be that big deficit. But here in Pepsi with the student section, getting it rocking and rolling in here, I could see this Quincy Hawks team getting hot and it being a close game coming down to the wire.
We've seen a lot of dangerous games here for opponents coming into Pepsi Arena, as the Tritons and Bulldogs did come out with wins, but it was very narrowly. So it's going to be a very interesting game here at Pepsi Arena for Staff Appreciation Night, where there will be a game in between halftime between staff and students. Again, thank you for tuning in to QUTV's coverage of men's basketball here for Game Day on QUTV.